experience for the player. Because sure, as an individual, you can play through the game. We have a great campaign experience, but it's all done at the online level. So you log into our servers, your units are there, you're level 20, and as you level up, you'll be able to collect more powerful mods, which is our itemization component, and mods can be placed on each individual unit in your arsenal. Also, as you level up as a player, we worked out our system, our technology trees, so that it unlocks newer technology as you become more powerful. You'll be able to customize your arsenal that you've collected with a variety of different skins. You'll also be able to unlock achievements. So we essentially just refined the game down to what it needed to be a fun and compelling experience for RTS gamers out there.
Des améliorations de l'aspect MMO donc, supportées par un background plutôt riche, comme nous le rappelle Chris.
End of Nations takes place about 50 years in the future. The world is basically economically, politically collapsed. It's in ruin. Up through the ashes came this faction, this order of nations, as we like to call them. Kind of like the UN. They with the world in chaos, they tried to impose what they called their version of peace, and it didn't quite work out the way that everybody else was hoping. It was basically more of a oppressive regime, if you will, and they brought the world even further to its knees. But fortunately, there were remnants of governments left, and they kind of formed their own coalitions or their own factions. One of those factions is called the Liberation Front. And they are a faction built around brute force, heavy-hitting tanks and weaponry and nukes and fun technology like that. The other faction that rose up through the chaos was the Shadow Revolution. And these guys actually are ex-Order of Nations. So when they basically broke off from the Order of Nations, they stole a lot of hidden technology that the Order of Nations was working on. So these guys have some of the most advanced weaponry in the game, such as stealth technology and a variety of other weapons that basically allow them to pull off a variety of hit-and-run style tactics. So, and essentially this makes the two factions that the players get to select very unique in their play styles.
Chris Rubior n'en est pas à son premier RTS. Le lead designer du studio Petroglyph ayant déjà travaillé sur des séries comme Command & Conquer par exemple. Une solide expérience donc qui l'a certainement aidé pour End of Nations.
You know, having worked on RTS games now for about 15 years, so a very long time. In helping develop End of Nations, it was critical, basically understanding the core fundamentals of RTS gameplay. What makes units fun, you know, how these units interact in tactical combat. So, you know, having that background, that knowledge, helped tremendously in making sure that the RTS component of End of Nations was rock solid as a game, that when players get in there and they start playing it, they start moving the units around, they feel like you would expect. They're fun, they're fast, they have unique strategies to them. So it was critical. So the Command & Conquer series helped tremendously in ensuring that what we do today would be a huge success.
De par son genre hybride, End of Nations a posé plus d'un problème aux développeurs, surtout d'un point de vue technique. Des challenges que les équipes de Petroglyph ont dû relever, même si cela n'a pas toujours été facile.
The biggest hurdle that we've had to overcome was, especially in an RTS, was the persistent, massive component. RTS games inherently are technically more complicated on the back end than a lot of other games. There's a lot of pathfinding going on with units and calculations, so being able to deliver a client-server-based RTS, which there are only a few out there that do it, but at a massive, on this massive level, was a huge challenge for our code team that they had to overcome early on, and I do believe that we've achieved that. In addition to coming up with new ways for the cooperative experience for players to play the game, so challenging the players to, instead of just taking all their units and pushing through in one direction, we now, the designers at Petroglyph had to come up with different ways to play the maps. So we had to break the traditional RTS design mold that we have baked into our heads for creating these experiences. So, and when I say these scenarios, it's, you come in as, let's say, a 4-player group, delivering objectives that require the group to essentially split off and work as a coordinated team to achieve objectives simultaneously, and then bring the players back together and then separate. So we have these different ways to play an RTS, or ways that as a cooperative group you'll feel challenged, that really you haven't seen before in an RTS game. And technically it's been a huge hurdle for us, and on the design side, breaking the traditional RTS mentality that we had in terms of creating fun and compelling environments was also a huge hurdle. But again, I think we've managed to do that, and I think we're going to deliver some great gameplay for players.
Et c'est tout ce qu'on leur souhaite. Quant à nous, on continue bien évidemment de vous tenir informés sur ce titre, qui devrait normalement sortir cette année sur PC.